So I think now everybody's on board. So thank you for joining us this morning for our latest edition in our webinar series. We've got 30 minutes scheduled, now down to 27. So hopefully Damien will be able to fit his numerous slides into that time frame. So hopefully your coffee is all made and you're ready to go. We're going to be looking at a new way to sell Foldr, Foldr as a service. We're going to be looking at the whys, the wheres, the whos, the whats, the hows, and at the end, the nice confidential bit all about how you can actually make some money from it or how much it all costs. So I'm going to swiftly hand over to Damien, who will take the lead from here. Thanks, Damien.
Thanks, Diane. As I've been saying, if you've been in the room, this is a little bit unusual. This isn't about a product demonstration today. This is actually a launch. We've been talking about Foldr for a long time, so I will say this right now. If you are not familiar with the Foldr product and the brilliance that is the Foldr portfolio, then get hold of your account managers. Through the presentation we're going to have on the screen in a moment, you'll see QR codes that will take you to the previous webinars explaining some of the features and things around that, around the product itself. As I said, apologies, there just isn't time in 30 minutes to demonstrate the product and talk about what we've just done with it. So I am assuming that you know a little bit about Foldr and the wonderfulness. If you don't, get hold of those account managers because they're even more enthusiastic about it than I am, which is tricky. So I apologize that this is a presentation. I do have the product open, so if we're done at the end, if anybody wants to stay on and see anything, then I'll be here for a little while and I can show you some stuff as well. I know the Selectec team will probably have to bow out and head off, but once we're done, if anyone does need to or want to see anything, I will stay around for that. But this is a big day. In fact, I'm not sure how I could do a virtual drum roll, but it's here. We've had Foldr with us. In fact, actually, I've even made an agenda, Diane. Would you believe? There we go. Look at that. That's to me everything you need to know.
Best agenda ever.
Best agenda ever. In fact, all I do is just change the background.
I love it.
That's all you need to know, isn't it? We're going to tell you about why we're doing what we're doing. Overview with the who's, the where's, the what's, the how's, and then a little bit on the money bit, as we said. There we go. So there we go. There's the agenda. That's what we're going to get into, and we'll start with why we're doing this. Like I said, working on the assumption that you are aware of the Foldr tool, or in fact our portfolio of products that we've been bringing to you through Selectec for about the last 5 years. Foldr is an enormously powerful piece of kit, touching in a wide range of categories, from security and access through to data extraction, through to automation, through to search, through to mobile, and so on. There's an awful lot going on, and it's actually delivered in a very, very efficient way. It's delivered as an enclosed appliance. We literally just give you a virtual machine, you put it in a hypervisor, and you turn it on. And it was designed this way because the product was actually designed for IT infrastructure. That's where it was. So it sits in data centers, it sits in, in organizations with usually thousands of users. And, an average user pool for these guys is 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 seats and up. And of course, we were bringing this into the business, into the smaller commercial SME space. And what we found is very often those businesses don't have their own hosts, they don't have hypervisors, they don't have inbound IT. So whilst in IT terms, the appliance is very, very efficient and makes support very easy, it actually has become noticeable that quite a lot of those business customers don't have the infrastructure to deliver that easily. And also, being quite frank, there is very much this push to cloud first, or zero trust, or wherever. So everything needs to be, if we're just following trends, everybody wants to know about a cloud product. So why are we doing it? Well, we thought if we bought a hosted version or a bundleized version, that's a new word, that one, bundleized, I quite like that, version of Foldr, we could get rid of some of those objections. And Foldr has been designed from a sales perspective in data capture and ECM to get round those objections. And there's quite a lot of presentations around that and how it sits and works without all of the usual problems with the ECM conversations. But we do get, when we get to deployment of it, what's a hypervisor, what's a firewall, how are we going to configure this for external access? there's a million different reasons that these things, we do get it deployed, of course, and we are selling it, but some of those installs can be difficult and they can impact the commercials. So we really wanted to make that more simple. So that's why we're doing it. We like simple. We've been trying to make Foldr more simple since day one. So there we go. That's kind of where we're at with it. So there is no more lots of Lego bricks that you need to stack up. There are no more awkward questions. There is just cloud. So you can now have this thing as a fully sorted appliance, delivered, entirely ready to rock and roll. So, okay. There's the big launch. The cat's out the bag. The prices have been in the price book for a little while, but Foldr as a service, or FaaS, is now available. Okay, just to recap, who are Foldr? Formed 12 years ago now. They are from Bristol. That's to me, I think that's the root of the name. It's Foldr because they're from Bristol, right? So there we go. There's the joke. So you've got 10 years still in this product in development, and that's important because, like we said, this thing is an appliance. It's designed to go into those heavy infrastructure environments. It's been multi-tenant ready for some time. And you know, this isn't something that they're just now designing. It was actually hosted for various organizations even before we had hold of it. So this is a product, you know, if you like, a hosting launch, not a product refresh. And as we've said, if you've never heard of Foldr, their user base is intense, you know. So for an organization you've never heard of, that we can say is has dealt with over 1 million plus users over its life, is something quite impressive. So who are we going to put it with? Where is the hosting going to be happen? So in a nice synergy from Foldr to Volta. So this is where Foldr have elected to deliver the hosting environment for Foldr as a service, or FaaS. If you've never heard of Volta, formed in 2014, they've got 1.5+ million customers. I really am reading these slides now, Ben, just for you. But 45 million instances, and most importantly, 32 geographical locations. And if you want to know about their uptime, their availability, all of those good things, and of course, it's hidden in plain sight within the Volta environment and will be part of the document set for the Foldr piece. So strong parity between both the product and the elected host. Lots of history there, lots of work going on. We've been playing with it for a while. It works really, really nicely. Talking about that, where we're going to default Foldr as a service instances into UK data centers, but you can see there a list of the European data centers, and smaller behind it, the global location should you want to. I was on a call yesterday with an international customer. We needed US data centers. We also needed a European data center, and so on. So if you know, as we go through the process for allocating these, you can see that as default, it's UK, but you can specify any data center you want, or you could not specify if you don't care. That's kind of up to you. But you've got 32 locations to pick from. Okay. Checking the time, I'm realizing, guys, I'm having to talk really quite quickly and not fall down the rabbit hole of re-explaining the product. But at the bottom, you'll see a QR code. If you zap that, that will take you to all the webinars we've done before, or by all means, stick around up, talk to your account managers, get those guys in there to sort you out a demonstration, to remind you of all the things that are going on in Foldr. And it is our fastest moving product very often, so there's usually something to find out. Foldr Core, we've talked about this before. Let's just remind you, this is an infrastructure and security tool. It's going to increase the security for your users. It's going to enable access to storage. It's going to bring all of that into a unified environment that has actually got native applications for all of the operating systems you're going to touch. So Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, and of course, you can get to it through anything with a browser. So we're going to offer an awful lot. And this is a place where we don't have to annoy the IT guy when it comes to security. This is going to make their life better, not worse. There's an awful lot there. Reach out to Max if he's on this call. If you talk to him about his cost savings presentation, it's quite remarkable. It's a good thing. A few years ago, we realized if we put stuff in places, then we generally want to do things with it. So it'd be nice to have an automation engine. And we brought to the table the Make Stuff Happen, or the automation engine for Foldr. that's growing so very quickly. The libraries that it can touch now in terms of talking to APIs, talking to databases, creating images, doing redactions, creating barcodes, QR codes, automatically creating external shares, notifying people. The list goes on. I think there are now 19 full libraries in there on top of the core code itself. It's growing very quickly, and there's some bits that we'll be giving away with that as well. And then the third big bundle in the Foldr portfolio is the data extraction piece. And there are plenty of demonstrations of this. This is the ability for Foldr to extract data from documents. So this is you know, invoice information, HR onboarding, anything you might want in this really powerful customized template tool, as well as now using full AI. And there's a little presentation we did on that the other day as well. So these are the three core bundles, and thus far you've had to install it on the customer's infrastructure or in their own private host, and you've needed to license these things individually. FaaS is all about simplicity. Yeah, Foldr has a simple service, it should be, but these things have now changed. So on your new price book, you will see two types of bundle: F Core, which is the Foldr core product, all of it, content search, metadata, external sharing, security, 2FA, all of that good stuff is included in F Core, as well as the Mash engine, all of it, unlimited numbers of scripts, unlimited amounts of activities and schedules, with all of the new features available to that, like user triggerable Mash, daisy chain Mash, all of the stuff that's been included. So the F Core bundle in FaaS in your price book now includes Mash. We believe it now to be such an intrinsic part of the product, it's just easier to build it in. And then there's a second bundle, which is Intelligence, or F Core or F Intelligence, which is the core product, so all the Foldr core, all the Foldr Mash, with the bolt-on for the Capta product as well. So you can have it with or without data extraction. It's really that simple. And if we take a look at what we're including, this is the SaaS offering, okay? And I'll explain why that's important in a minute. So effectively, our SaaS bundle is starting with 10 users, so it comes with 10 users. The reason we've done this, guys, is we realized that most doc management platforms in cloud start with a handful, 2, 3, 4 users, and it's generally enough, but we kept coming across compromise conversations. You know, well, okay, yeah, well, Dave will have to share an account with Steve in the warehouse, that kind of stuff happening in SMB environments. So we just went, you know what, everybody else does 3 or 4, we'll do 10. And then storage. We were taking a look at this, and most ECM tools are coming with 20, 30, 40, 50 gig, maybe, with fairly high costs. But you might want to be able to start doing back scanning projects. You might want to start to do data dumps into the thing. And if you're trying to deal with knowledge, you know, data lakes effectively, which is a thing we come across quite a lot, maybe because you are selling a powerful ECM platform of another flavor and you'd like something to deal with that legacy, we just went, well, we'll just throw a terabit at it. Let's just, you know, let's make sure it's got more users than we normally get asked for, and it's got a lot more storage than we usually need. And of course, if we've got that storage space, it means that we can start to suggest more automation projects, more things that they might be able to do with the product, more stuff they might be able to mash, which is growing that piece as well. Now, if you're familiar with Foldr, and by this point, I really hope you are, and to say it again, if you're not, talk to your account managers, you are missing out. But the really key piece of Foldr is it can connect to existing storage, and FaaS can still do that. So you could still be talking to 365, you could still be talking to SharePoint locations, Google Drive, Dropbox, Box, WebDAV locations, SFTP sites, you name it. You could still, if you wanted to, hook it up to your existing storage. So, you know, if you're still wanting something completely unique, this really is it. And it means that FaaS really does have unlimited storage. It's even possible to link it via a port forward to SMB3. I'm not going to get into that because I'm not the right guy, but there are ways of doing it as well. So 10 users, a terabit of built-in storage, plus bring your own if you want to. The inbuilt Tesseract OCR engine is still there and it's unlimited, so content searching on those files in place. So if you still want to index stuff you've had sat in a Linode bucket for the last 5 years, you still can. Mash is there, so the full Mash automation engine. And if you don't know about it, get on board because it's enormously powerful. New things in Mash this year, IPP printing is there. Reaching out to large language models and AI is now there. The list goes on. There's a big bunch of stuff. And we're going to be including or offering, it won't be on the appliance, but you can have it as part of this, a free Mash script which allows integration from Papercut Hive scanning. So the advanced scanning client for Hive will include that Mash script, as well as a bunch of libraries which do things like file moves and renames and CSV file extracts and things like that. You can have those libraries, as well, of course, as the enormously powerful search and field stuff and the external sharing stuff as well. That is the F-Core SaaS product. Intelligence, which is the bolt-on, will give you all of the old Capture template engine. If you've not seen it, and if you're into data extraction, it's a very powerful thing. And we're certainly finding that it offers some real uniques, which become important because we're going to include 2,000 pages a month of AI invoicing extraction. Okay, so this is the AWS invoice extraction engine, so it can be tailored to pick out any of those fields, no templating, throw an invoice at it, get it back without anywhere to go. But in addition to that, and in addition to the Tesseract OCR engine, we are throwing in 10,000 pages of full AI-powered full-page OCR. And that means that you can use the power of the AI OCR in conjunction with the very powerful Capture templating engine. And the reason we built this is we keep coming across stuff which AI is a little bit too general, it's not quite specific enough, but we really want to be able to get that quality for the AI OCR extraction. So by doing it this way, you can get the absolute best of both worlds. And of course, you've got unlimited Tesseract OCR built into that as well. So best of both, guys. And a little twist here, because some of you guys are getting clever, some of you do hosting, some of you have got IT services. What we thought we'd do is we'd also offer these bundles as a premise instance. So all of the licensing, all of the inclusions, but you stick the product in your own host. Okay, so much more simplified licensing, but you'll notice that on premise, the only thing we drop out is the appliance itself and the storage, but everything else remains the same, including the intelligence part. Because what we're realizing is on premise, AI is not an easy thing to do. So when we're using Capture stuff in cloud, we really like to be able to use this on premise so we can talk to other supplementary systems to build more powerful instances. And of course, Mash allows us to do that as well. So in cloud and on premise, bundled or bundlerized, as I've decided that now is, they are the same. The only difference is you are losing the storage and the appliance itself. So let's summarize that. Okay, SaaS now includes a full hosted appliance. For premise, just bring your own. Okay, SaaS includes storage, premise, bring your own, and of course the SaaS can still do the bring your own thing as well for cloud storage. Capture instances, all of them, if you turn that on, whether it's on-prem or cloud, you get the AI volumes and you can extend that. And what we've done is we've simply gone, well, let's make this simple, because complicated stuff is really not where we're going with this. If you put it on premise, it's 50% cheaper. The idea being that you as an organization can take that 50% and perhaps use that for the hosting itself and to drive that side of your own business. And if you want to know where it goes and how it happens and what that does, get hold of those account managers and they will set up a call and we will share how it's going. We really want to give you stuff that can start to drive other aspects of your service business and other aspects of annuity. So that's why it's been built this way. Okay. I did say I wasn't going to demonstrate the product. I'm trying not to labor the point here, but I still want you to remember authentication. This stuff is still world beating. Entra, Google, ADFS, Jump Cloud, Okta, Foldr itself. You name it, we can kind of make that work. You're still going to get multi-factor authentication, single sign-on. You're still going to be able to do fully very granular device management, self-service password resets, ransomware protection. Sorry, ransomware, not randomware. I suppose they're both the same. Still, there we go. Enforced virus protection. The security side of the thing, guys, is still the bread and butter of the Foldr tool. That's what it's there for. You are still going to have access to the native apps. You can run this thing natively with desktop search in Windows, on Mac, in iOS and Android. The iOS clients are now getting transcription. We can still use multi-page scanners on the mobile devices. Field and searching is now available on full mobile as well. And of course, you can control those devices based on their network location and so on and so on and so on. All of the search tools are still there. So we've still got that unique thing where Foldr doesn't need to OCR files for content extraction if there's a text layer within the file already. That makes capture quicker, it makes things more accurate. You're still going to get the ability to build custom field libraries. You're still going to get the ability to do unstructured content searching. If you haven't seen that demo, click that QR code and go take a look, because we can't do it in anything else. So it's kind of interesting. And of course, all the stuff that's been added over last year around sharing searches for workflow and things like that, again, it's still there. Automation through Mash, we could go on and on and on, but one of the key pieces to Mash is that it's growing very, very quickly. The roadmap looks really quite exciting, and we just literally keep adding to it. Talk to the account managers. This thing is running an awful lot of our internal processes now because of the sheer breadth of stuff that it can do. And that data extraction, guys, full AI enabled on different shares. We can start to choose which aspects get thrown at AI and which ones don't. We can even start to really segregate the data cores for that security story. And if you haven't seen it, Mash scripting or automations are now triggerable by users. So we can literally say, I'd like to mash this and choose what we'd like to do. And those mash scripts can be controlled by the user or by user. So got very, very granular processing that can go on right here. Okay, so it's still really full of uniques. I also want to throw out here the folio piece. If you haven't seen or heard of folio, talk to those account managers. I think we've talked about it publicly. I'm not strictly sure, but if you've seen external sharing in Foldr, you will know that it is unique and enormously powerful and very, very valuable. But you need to have a specific URL. It was a sharing thing for for specific pieces to specific users. Folio was added a good few months ago now. I think it's been on our price books for 2 goes round at this point. But what it does in this world is means that external users, so users that don't have a license, can access as read-only users, although they can use annotation and they can use uploads, and they can have alerts. So these are users that do not need a Foldr license. So for one fixed cost, you can talk to unlicensed external users with an auditable fashion, allow them to annotate documents, sign them in a box or scribble on them or type on them if they need to, and allow secure uploads. And all of it is audited by IP, location, device type, and even client and user. And it's one fixed cost. It's called Folio. It's unique. Take a look at it. And it's available both on premise and with the SaaS version. Okay. We're on the how now. Last 3 minutes of this, hopefully, we're going to talk really, really quickly. We wanted a solution which was so simple, you could literally shape it down to 3 questions. Do you want it on-prem or would you prefer it hosted? Do you need data extraction? Would you like it to be able to suck the invoice data out? Would you like it to be able to read your forms and your files automatically? Yes or no? And then, do you share stuff externally? Would you like this as a fixed user portal? The Folio piece. 3 questions which should be able to qualify what flavor of customer this absolutely is. Okay. For us, not going to take you through this because we just don't have time, but we are building our organization out much more now to support your sales process. We know that selling ECM, IIM, capture, extraction, automation, BPA, pick an acronym, do what you want. But we're doing it all the time, and the guys that we're doing it with have got the time and resources to have learned it. We have developers, we have pre-sales people, we have infrastructure guys, and we have the vendors themselves. You guys might not have that to, you know, to get up and out and take a look at different parts of the portfolio, or some of these customers can be a little bit interesting to deal with, right? So we've got a process now. Talk to your account managers. They're going to be talking about this, where we can help you, what we can do, how we're going to be able to do it with you. Okay, so this is really getting rounded out in Selectec terms. We're quite pleased with the way it's going. Hopefully you guys will be as well. And as a spoiler, and I'm throwing this in, I'm really not going to go into it too much because there's going to be a presentation on the 5th of July, I think it is, whatever that Friday is, about Select Plus, which is coming to you, which is this piece where over and above M&S and support, we will be able to offer that configuration, direct customer support, all of that good stuff. So this really will allow you to expand into these spaces without worrying or freaking out when customers are going to want to do some stuff we don't know. This is becoming much more important as we trip into understanding AI, where that fits, data capture, APIs, things like that. So do come along on the 5th of July. I'm sure that we're going to be sending out an invitation to find out just exactly how Select Plus is going to be available to talk about that.
The question that's been posted is there a reseller NFR available of the FaaS solution?
Yeah,
What a
so
good question.
the plan is, we're quite pleased with this as well. So the plan is that talk to your account manager, they can fill in a document with you. Foldr will spin up a FaaS environment for you for free for 30 days, including AI volumes. And within that, it will be the demo setup that we use. You might have seen on some of our demos that we use an appliance we refer to as Virgil. So you'll effectively get your own version of Virgil to play with. It will have some storage attached to it. It won't be in the Volta production stack. It will be in the Foldr stack. So you can't use it for production. Please don't stick anything, any sensitive data or anything in it. Yours for 30 days to do what you want with. And if you decide you love it so much that you would like, you know, to buy the thing and use it, then Ben and the guys have got a really lovely offering in terms of discounts for you to take on a Foldr environment all of your very own. So yes, there is a I'd like to kick it, please, opportunity. Talk to your account manager. They know stuff.
I think that's pretty good. Thanks, Damien.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Got a couple of round of applauses there. Yeah, we'll throw those in. Like Damien has mentioned numerous times on the call, yeah, reach out to myself, Lee, Max, whoever your account manager is. If you don't know who your account manager is, then please feel free to reach out to me. All our email addresses are firstname.lastname@selectec.com. So please do reach out. We'd be more than happy to arrange customer demonstrations, internal sales training if required. So we're here and we'll help you every step of the way.